Hey Internet, this is Gunter with MiniMishaps Games, and today we are building our Merchant's Box of Minis. Alright, so the idea behind the Merchant Box is this is a creative way to demonstrate a bunch of different types of crafts. If you sell crafts, this is a way to pare down your piles of surplus inventory. If you are a miniature hoarder or a dice goblin, it's a great creative way to do some fundraising between your players and your GMs, DMs, and so we're gonna be building that merchant box, and the first thing we need is a box. So I like to go down to my either craft store or pretty much any of the big box stores will have some kind of jewelry sorting. That's what this one is, a jewelry organizer. And then a lot of times you can find displays or kits in bulk or in clearance, and the main thing is for this type of box, you'll want it to be transparent or semi-transparent so that you can see into the box. Now for me, I am a game master, and I'm also if you've seen anything on the channel, know I like to do nerdy art as well, and so I end up with all these extra supplies and extra projects that create duplicates and different things like that. So the biggest hope for me is that I find a home for some of my nerdy stuff, and so we're gonna start right in on building it. So you can use obviously any price point you want, but for me, I like to have this first row of 5 on the top be $3, the second row be $2.50, and the third row be $2. But the tricky thing, or the special thing about the merchant box, it has to sell in order, and so for this item has to be the first one to sell, and if someone wants this item, they have to buy these 4 to get to this item. So the benefit here is if they go beyond the first 5, this $2.50 price applies to anything that came before it as well. So if they only purchase within this first row, then it's the $3 each. If they get to here, then all of these would be $2.50 plus this one would be $2.50. And if they get to here, then all of these and all of the previous ones would be $2. And then I like to run it. And then I like to run it where there's one spot at the end that's a bonus. In the case of having role-playing players, I like this to be like a 10 re-roll dice or lucky dice or inspiration points, depending on your system. Something like that, where there's a bonus for getting it. And then I'm going to be putting a larger miniature in here as that comes as a bonus, because if they complete all the way to $30, because again, if these sets it back down to 2, then you'd have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then 20, and then 30. Then they get to have all the minis in the case, they get to have the bonus, they get to have the larger mini, and they get to keep the case. So that is how that functions. So we're going to be building our first one here, and in our first spot we are going to put these 3 unpainted zombie miniatures. So there, if they got those miniatures, this would be $3. Next, I've got a unicorn mini that's going to go here. And so now if they wanted to get the unicorn, they would have to get the zombies, and that would be $6. Next, we've got a little dragon. Same thing. So far, they're all $3. I have a number of gems here that are going to be bases in my next spot. So that's going to be, we're going to put 5 bases all together in there. Okay, so we've got bases. Next, we've got this flighted gargoyle or demon. He's going to be there. So now it would be 15 if they got that whole row. If they want the demon, they have to get the dragon, unicorn, bases, and the zombies. Now we're into our next row. I've got this golden Viking here. And so this one I'm going to have be 250. And if they go all the way to the Viking, then each of these is also would be 250. So now you'd have 250, 5, 750, 10, 1250, $15 if they wanted all of these minis. Next up, we've got a couple of seasonal. It is the spring. We've got a couple of bunnies that are in pastels for our next spot. And then again, this is a knowing your audience thing. My next spot here, I am going to have a set of dice. Put that right in the middle of our case, because I know I have some folks that are dice goblins that would really like that. And now we're still in the 250, so we would have through here 15, and then up to 20 would be here. So you can already tell if they are going to go to here, it already makes sense for them to go to here, because then that is 22, and you get those 3 extra sets because all these drop down to $2. Next, we've got a little like warlock wizard there for that one. And in the last spot of this row, we're going to have a bear, a black bear on a black base. So again, now going into this third row, that drops everything down to $2. So if they pay all the way through the top row, the second row, and this row, then we'll have these two kind of unpainted. One looks like a wizard, the other one looks like they're reading some kind of scroll, either a messenger or a scribe or another different kind of wizard. So those would drop everything down to 2. So now you'd have 2 through 10, 20, 22. We've got this Undertaker groundskeeper shovel guy here for that one. And we've got a pair of gargoyles there for that one. Next, we've got a pair of larger scale squirrel miniatures. In the scale that we use, these would be like horse-sized mounts, giant dire squirrels. And then this last piece here, we're going to have a laser 3D printed Frogagog deity. So essentially in universe, this would be Mitker, and he's going to be here. But as you can see, this is complete variety of, we have some unpainted, we have some painted, we have some bases, dice, 3D printed, hand painted, store painted, bases that I put on the minis after, and just all kinds of stuff available in this box. And then, as I said before, I'm going to take 10 of these inspiration points. I just use miscellaneous dragon treasure here. So we're going to put those in the bonus spot. So we've got our 10 bonus inspiration points here. And then last but not least, we are going to add the larger mini, and I have got a skeletal dinosaur that's going to go right here in the big slot. So now, if they wanted to get the whole case with all the minis and all the baubles, it would be $30. Otherwise, they can go from the top. The last thing, if you have multiple people that are wanting to purchase minis and they're not buying the whole case as a group, then after the first purchase, everything would move up. And so then the next person would be back at $3 again. So if you have the stock and availability, you could backfill at the end, and then you could have a rotation. My plan is to have a couple of these and kind of switch out what's available every time I have them available. But love to hear in the comments if you guys put together a box like this and how it goes for you. Thanks for staying till the end, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, Internet.